Do you notice that your husband is like sweeter, more patient with the kids when you're treating him well? And I'm not saying that's absolute fact. I'm just like, that's something that I noticed in my life, and I'm wanting to know if other people are experiencing the same thing. And not even just with the kids. I feel like overall, I feel like my husband is more willing to endure life's foolishness. He's more willing to do little sweet favors for me. He's more willing to show up for me without me having to ask, and to do those little things when I'm actually treating him well.
Basically, what you see happening in this video is this woman is basically saying she came to the realization that the better she treats her man, the better he treats her, the better he treats the children, just the more harmonious and happy the household is, right? And a lot of us are going to look at her and say, duh, it's obvious. See, these women are not nice. They're mean. Listen, that's the complete wrong angle to take. Because the fact of the matter is, this is a very important video. And I'm actually glad she made this and put this out there. Because what's really going on is this. Black millennials. I'm talking about black folk between the ages of 28 and 45. By and large. Most of us do not know hardly anything about happy, healthy, functional, long-term relationships and marriages. We don't know anything about it. And so we'll talk about how she didn't know this and how... Listen, the truth be told, the fact of the matter is most of us don't know. And those of us who do know, we had to learn it through trial and error. Like, we got to be real. Like, when we look at a lot of our family structures, a lot of us were not raised in households where mom and dad were married and together and happy, and they went the distance. Yes, they had their ups and downs, but they had a healthy enough relationship, healthy enough barriers, and they made it work. And they instilled certain values about happy, healthy relationships onto us. A lot of us, we didn't grow up with that. Like, we're just going to keep it real. A lot of us, our beliefs on relationships come from movies, reality TV, older people in our family who haven't figured it out themselves. Like, let's just be real. Rom-coms. And now a lot of stuff is coming from podcasts and stuff like that. We got to be honest. And so it's easy for us to look at her and say, what? How you didn't know that the better you treat your man? A lot of us don't know that. Let's just be real. Like, when you listen to a lot of the relationship rhetoric on social media, how many people are talking about reciprocity? You know, nobody. It's a whole lot of modern man, modern woman, high value man, soft girl. It's a whole lot of silly stuff going on. Like, let's just be real. A lot of us, our beliefs, stuff like the color purple, or our single mama, or our player uncle who had all these different kids and all these different women, and he's the one teaching you about how you're supposed to have a woman. Like, let's just be real. A lot of the people that taught us about happy relationships didn't have one. Our parents, our grandparents, aunts and uncles, let's keep it real. Then we started watching, soul food and Tyler Perry movies and rom-coms and all this other kind of stuff. Then reality TV came on, and Love and Marriage and Love and Hip Hop. And come on, man. Let's tell the truth. And you know how I know a lot of us don't know anything about happy, healthy relationships? Because every time people come in front of us, and they've been married 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, and they come and they start talking about the real. Like, hey, it's going to be some times where you're not going to like him, or you're not going to like her, and y'all going to think about leaving, but you're not, and sometimes you're not going to be happy, and so you're going to have to serve. Where do we go? I ain't doing that. Listen, that's what happens every time. Every time somebody that actually knows about happy, healthy relationships gives you the reality of what it's going to be like, the peaks and the valleys, the sacrifice. I ain't doing. Come on now. When happily married women, hop on social media and talking about the different ways that they serve and cater to and take care of their man. I ain't gonna be nobody's slave. Pick me. Like, let's be real. Every time a happily, healthy, married man comes on here and talks about taking care of his woman and protecting his woman and loving her and doing this for her, simp, happy wife, happy life. See, you a cuck. I ain't gonna. Let's be real. Every time a happily married man gets on social media and talks about how you should take care of your woman, a whole bunch of men come and say, you ain't got to do that. You simping, you blue pill, she running you a sucker. I ain't da-da-da-da-da. Every time a happily married woman comes on here and talks about the things you should do to maintain your marriage and make your man happy. I ain't no slave. I ain't no pick me. I would never do this for a man. I'd die before I... Come on now. So it's real easy to look at this woman and say, what, you didn't know that treating your man the way you want to be treated or treating him nice in turn makes him treat you nice? Because the truth be told, in practice, a lot of us don't know that. That's all. Like, think about how we talk. Once again, soft girl era, high value man. Or if you, $200 dates. I ain't going to Cheesecake Factory. Oh, 50-50. In all of our relationship talk, all we talk about is what we want, what we deserve, what we should get, and what we are not going to do for the other person. Think about it. We talk about what they better do, what they better give, and what we're not going to give, and what we're not going to do. We don't talk about what we're going to do for this person. When you tell them these podcasts, you don't hear nobody talking about what they are going to do for their partner. And once again, anytime somebody does get on here and talk about what they are going to do for their partner, it's, oh, you a sucker, you a simp, you a pick me. You getting played, you getting used. I would never. Like, let's just be real. If I were to say to you right now that the key to a happy, healthy relationship, well, two keys are humility and accountability. Don't nobody want to hear that. But that's the truth. You have to be humble because it's not just you, it's you and somebody else. So you are going to have to serve that person in whichever ways within reason that make them feel love, and they got to do the same thing for you. And since you're with another person, how you think, how you act, how you live is going to have an impact on them both positively and negatively. And you have to be humble enough to be accountable for what you are doing and how you are showing up. If you are humble and you're accountable and you don't have no problem serving, that's the key to a happy relationship. Don't nobody want to hear that. Humble myself, be accountable, serve. Man, we don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear that. All we want to hear about is what we supposed to get and what we deserve and what we not going to do. That's all we talk about. What we not going to do and what we better get. And then we wonder why relationships don't work. And then, Lord forbid, we learn some new terms. Then all we do is use these new terms to point fingers at everybody else. So now that I know new terms, I know to say that you're gaslighting. I learned to say that you're a narcissist. Like, come on now. I learned to say that you're love bombing. That's all we do. We learn new phrases so that we can throw them at other people. Notice we never call ourselves a narcissist. It's always the other person. We never say that we gaslight. No, it's always the other person. Like, so, yeah, man.